Houma, Louisiana.
We just experienced the northeastern eye wall, which was the strongest. Heavy rains and wind pounding this region, knocking out power to thousands already. The problem is storm surge is a major problem. 7 to 10 feet in some areas on the coastline, like Grand Isle, that was really just demolished 3 years ago by Hurricane Ida. Now, this storm is making its way up into the major metropolitan areas like New Orleans and Baton Rouge, and there could be extensive power outages there tonight.
Parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle are at risk of flooding. The lower Mississippi Valley and lower Tennessee Valley could see flooding later in the week. A somber remembrance in New York City marking 23 years since the 9/11 attacks. Families of the victims read their names aloud as they have done every year.
My father, William Ralph Robb. Dad, we only got 6 years together, but I have nothing but the happiest memories. And every day I remember how lucky and how proud I am to be your daughter. Me, Mom, and Liam love and miss you so much.
At the Pentagon, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin led the ceremony.
We continue to honor the beloved teammates who we lost, the first responders who raced towards the flames, the families who humble us with their resilience.
There was also a remembrance held at the memorial site in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where passengers of the hijacked flight overpowered the terrorists and forced the plane into a field. It's believed that plane was headed for the capital. South Korea says North Korea has fired a ballistic missile toward the northeastern waters. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
From welfare check to hostage situation, mainly clear and cool overnight with lows near 60. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending this hour. Indy Metro Police responded to a home on the north side of Indy Wednesday morning for a welfare check, but were quickly informed a woman was being held hostage. Police heard a woman scream, went inside, and that's when police say the suspect fired first.
The suspect, an adult male, was shot at least one time and transported to an area hospital. At last checked, he was stable condition. The female inside the apartment was not injured.
IMPD Assistant Chief Michael Wally in a Wednesday press conference. Full story at WIBC.com. You were told Tuesday he would not survive. Sasha Nixon reports Newton County Corporal Brandon Schreiber has died.
Schreiber was shot in the line of duty earlier this month. He died Wednesday morning. Following his death, law enforcement organizations posted messages of support. IMPD wrote, "The IMPD extends our condolences to the Newton County Sheriff's Office and all who knew him. Illinois State Police are still investigating." Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
They tried but did not succeed. Special Judge Fran Gall has denied the request made by Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen's lawyers this week. Allen's lawyers are not allowed to present evidence of Odinism or third-party suspects at trial. They wanted the issue brought to the Court of Appeals, but Judge Gall said no. Trial remains scheduled for October 14th. You're paying an average of $3.18 a gallon for gas, says AAA. I'm Donnie Burgess, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. And now the forecast brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Expect a quiet, mostly clear night as lows fall down into the upper 50s to lower 60s Thursday. Highs pushing into the mid-upper 80s. On and off weekend bands of showers and isolated thunderstorms are possible. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, we understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life, and that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. When an injured worker left me a message that said, "You probably won't call me back. I'm just a nobody," I called him right back. Nobody's a nobody, and no one deserves a better firm than you.
He calls to tell me that he's been in an accident, and I'm just scared to death.
I couldn't have hoped for anybody better than Morgan & Morgan. It makes you feel like you're worth something.
It really did feel like family.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
JMV here from Miss M's Home and Garden in Bargersville. The fall specials are waiting for you this week, including 30% off herbaceous perennials and 50% off all pottery at Miss M's. Been holding off on patio furniture? Now's the time to buy. 20% off patio furniture this week at Miss M's in Bargersville. They also have everything fall in stock. Central Indiana grown mums, pumpkins, gourds, and more. Visit for great fall selections today. Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135, just south of Whiteland Road.
Tony Katz.
It's Kendall and Casey, the Amber and Nigel show.
All right, well, when does your show start? Do we know? I feel like I've been promoting this for 9 years now.
This is the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC.
Good evening, Indianapolis. This is not Tony Kinnett. I am Ethan Hatcher, your fill-in host for this evening. I host Saturday night on The Circle every weekend, Saturdays 7 to 9. Be sure to tune into the show, and I'm excited to join you for this edition of the Tony Kinnett Cast. However, first, let's do a quick news roundup.
News on the march.
The big night finally came as the first and possibly only debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris came to fruition. You'll hear the not-to-be-missed highlights from their sparring match this evening. Also, over the weekend, Joe Hogsett was taped while at an area event appearing to joke about the sexual abuse scandals in the city while also visibly intoxicated. But the city council refuses to comment on the ongoing disarray. After 155 years, the Campbell's Soup Company is making a big change to their company branding. And finally, we'll take a moment to remember the tragedy of 9/11 and reflect on the ways that America has changed since that fateful morning. Hear it all for the Tony Kinnett Cast, and that was this edition of the Quick News Roundup.
News on the march.
We begin with the monumental Harris versus Trump debate. I got to attend the WIBC debate party at the Wabash Event Center, which was phenomenal, meeting so many of you. And also, I got to say, producer Allison, the cocktails were quite generous on the vodka portions. Never a bad thing, especially when you have to suffer through the inanity of what was the debate night. Kamala Harris trotting lie after lie that was never called nor corrected. It was essentially Trump versus the moderation team. And she went so far as to accuse Trump. See, this is what projection is. When you accuse other people of engaging in the activity you yourself are guilty of. And she attempted to ascribe Trump responsibility for weaponizing the judiciary. Isn't that hysterical?
Well, let's talk about extreme and understand the context in which this election in 2024 is taking place. The United States Supreme Court recently ruled that the former president would essentially be immune from any misconduct if he were to enter the White House again. Understand, this is someone who has openly said he would terminate, I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution of the United States, that he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies. Someone who has openly expressed disdain for members of our military. Understand what it would mean if Donald Trump were back in the White House with no guardrails, because certainly we know now the court won't stop him. We know J.D. Vance is not going to stop him. It's up to the American people to stop him.
What a sick joke. I should have stopped him when I had the chance. And you have to stop him.
So Kamala Harris urging the American people to stop Donald Trump because the weaponizing of the judicial department by the Biden administration thus far has been unable to do so, including that documents case, which the Supreme Court ruled on. They made that ruling about qualified immunity for actions taken in the executive that fall under the purview of presidential authority, not for, outside the activities of president. And immediately they file another lawsuit for the same activity, for the mishandling of classified information. So clearly the Supreme Court didn't grant blanket immunity to the president, but she already knew that. And Donald Trump, of course, rightfully called them on their crap and mentioned that he has put his life on the line thanks to the dangerous rhetoric that Democrats have engendered.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. Yep. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation that went nowhere.
We have a lot to get to. Lindsay?
I've contained my rage for as long as possible, but I shall unleash my fury upon you like the crashing of 1,000 waves! Begone, vile man! Begone from me! I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
I thought for the most part, Trump seemed to be on top of his game for the debate. He was willing to go toe-to-toe with Kamala Harris on issue after issue, which is why the appraisal of Trump as having missed many opportunities is so perplexing to me. Producer Allison, I don't understand what people want out of this candidate because, of course, like I've already long since abandoned the traditional norms that we would hold a candidate to. Donald Trump is above all those. So to me, his debate performance just seemed very Trumpy. If nothing else, he was on top of his Trump game. He moderated a little bit, doubtlessly on advice of people he had practiced with ahead of the debate, but otherwise, he seemed to do quite well. Now, this is why politics is largely an expectations game, because we may have set the bar too low for Kamala Harris for her to easily jump over. She didn't evolve into a cackling hen, and so she came off as cool and collected and able to spar with Donald Trump. If anything, it largely seemed like a tie, although, again, Donald Trump made a lot of great jabs, including furthering that narrative of, the weaponizing of the judiciary and the idea, of course, that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are the real threats to democracy because of how they worked around the primary process. Kamala Harris now finding herself to be the nominee without even acquiring a single vote.
You talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14 million votes and they threw him out of office. And you know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her. He can't stand her. But he got 14 million votes. They threw him out. She got 0 votes. And when she ran, she was the first one to leave because she failed. And now she's running. I don't understand it, but I'm okay with it because
your time is
I think we're going to do very well.
We've got a lot more to get.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
So Donald Trump made an excellent point noting the coup that was launched within the Democrat Party to replace their nominee at the last minute and circumvent the entire democratic process. It should be pointed out. Also, what shouldn't be overlooked is the fact that Donald Trump very succinctly connected her with the Biden administration. These two are inextricable from one another. This is the record that Kamala Harris has to run on. It was hysterical during the entire debate. She was gaslighting the American people and pretending that Trump was the incumbent candidate, when in fact she has been the right-hand party to the economic and cultural decay that we've experienced under Joe Biden. She is one and the same.
And remember this, she is Biden. She's trying to get away from Biden. I don't know the gentleman, she says. She is Biden. The worst inflation we've ever had, a horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad, and she can't get away with that.
Thank you. Time is up.
I want to respond briefly. Clearly, I am not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country. One who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do instead of always disparaging the American people.
I think I can smell shite. Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
Again, gaslighting, projection. Kamala Harris is part and parcel with the Biden administration, and she can't run away from it. The fact that Donald Trump was willing to point it out, I thought was great. He also managed to flip the script utilizing Kamala Harris' own quip that was so well regarded during the debate with Mike Pence in 2020.
Fracking? She's been against it for 12 years. Defund the police? She's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out, wait a minute, I'm talking now, if you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
Well, well, well. How the turntables.
And the Kamala Harris campaign had so desperately wanted the mics. They wanted to change the rules. After the rules had already been established, they wanted to go in after the fact, change the rules, turn on the mics, so that way they could get that moment. And Donald Trump took it away from the Harris campaign. Again, to me, it seemed that Trump was mostly on top of his game and performed relatively well. So I don't know what you people expect out of Donald Trump. To me, he fulfilled all of the expectations that one would have for a debate featuring him. Now, I'm not sure that the performance of Trump or the performance of Harris in either direction has influenced the voting population. And this was a question that I posed on my Twitter feed, which, by the way, you can follow me on the Twitter machine at Ethan Hatcher, ETHANHATCHER. I'm trying to achieve my lifetime goal of acquiring more than 500 Twitter followers. So join me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And I posed a Twitter poll there to see if people had changed the way that they intend to vote as a consequence of the debate between Harris and Trump. More than 90% said no. So you're dealing with a very small universe of individuals. I'm not sure it amounts to anything. And whether or not those individuals who are at this point not dedicated will even participate. Because if you haven't made up your mind, clearly you are not a political devotee. So I'm not sure it helped him. I'm not sure it hurt him. But overall, I think Donald Trump's performance was relatively good, especially the way that he closed up the debate by pointing out, look, Kamala Harris is promising to fix all of these issues. She's acting like Donald Trump is the incumbent, when in actuality, she was the right-hand man to Joe Biden. If she wanted to, she has the ability to move the Democrat Party and communicate with legislators and achieve these aspirations in the now. But instead, she's essentially holding the betterment of the American people hostage, so that way you will vote for her. Hopefully, this trick won't work.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it, and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like, we're not going to frack, we're not going to take fossil fuel, we're not going to do things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision.
It is crazy. We say to give a woman power is like to give a gun to a monkey. We have stopped doing that ever since the 1999 Astana Zoo massacre.
So join the conversation, add your voice to the Twitter poll. Did this debate make a difference? Has it changed the way that you intend to vote in the upcoming election cycle? Hop in the Twitter, find my page, vote, share your voice. And then also one final story, of course, after the debate was finished, Taylor Swift made her official endorsement for the Harris campaign. I'm not sure anyone was surprised. Of course, it is comical that a woman who has made her career off of advertising the bad choices she makes has now endorsed the Harris campaign. Fun times. Thanks for listening to the Tony Kinnett Cast. More on the way. Stay tuned.
Close your eyes and picture it. The warm sun on your face. The sound of waves lapping against the shore. What if I told you that feeling of summer relaxation could be yours all year round? At Howard Bailey Financial, we specialize in retirement planning that lets you embrace that summer state of mind every day. Imagine knowing that your future is secure. With our expert advisors, we'll craft a personalized retirement plan tailored to your dreams. Whether it's traveling the world or pursuing your passions, we'll ensure that your retirement is as carefree and fulfilling as a relaxing summer afternoon. Embrace a summer state of mind and text SUMMER to 888-494-5004 to download our complimentary retirement toolkit and experience your retirement planning with confidence.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TSY.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah?
Never mind. I'm too afraid to tell him what I saw, what I sent, what I downloaded.
You can't help what you don't know. Tell the teens in your life they can talk to you about what's happening online.
Hey, you know you can tell me anything, right? No matter what.
Yeah, I know. We do need to talk.
Learn more about online safety at on.in.gov/ICAC. A message from the Indiana Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, sponsored by the Indiana State Police.
Did you know that Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief for nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea? Of course you do, because everyone knows the Pepto song. But did you know that Pepto also comes in convenient and delightful solid forms?
Pepto has very fast melt cherry chewables, liquid caps that make relief easy.
Pepto makes relief on the go easy. So when you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Do you need air conditioning service and want to find a local American Standard air dealer you can trust, like Absolute Comfort? Find that dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
I'm a veteran. My victory was admitting I had PTSD and getting help.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I no longer see it as a weakness, but as a sign of strength. I call it post-traumatic growth.
DAV provides a lifetime of support, helping veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans so they can reach victories great and small.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
I'm a veteran. When I got out, I felt like nowhere was safe. My victory was finding the help I needed.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
Thanks to DAV, now I feel like I'm human again.
Help support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Indianapolis Public Library. More than just books. Visit your local branch today.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Miss M's Home and Garden, Johnson County's fall nursery headquarters.
This is the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to the show. This is the Tony Kinnett Cast, and I am your substitute host, Ethan Hatcher from Saturday Night on The Circle. Producer Allison on the board, beep, 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 pushing the buttons and doing the things to make the show function. Of course, the city-county building, Indianapolis, Marion County government is collapsing as it is riddled with scandal, and the mayor in particular, Joe Hogsett, finds himself under an inordinate amount of scrutiny following the revelations regarding his deputy mayor, Thomas Carl Cook, and the levels of abuse, predation, and grooming that were allowed to go on within city government. Of course, city government isn't the only thing that's a wreck. Did I tell you earlier today, producer Allison, I myself had a little wreck. Of course, I was not the cause of the wreck. I was merely the victim.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like the story needs a little bit of context. I think I've told you about my mechanic's woes with the dishonest Pennsylvania mechanic who still has possession of my truck for a transmission repair that he's defaulted on for more than a year now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. So I'm pursuing legal action against that guy. Okay. Meanwhile, I've been borrowing my father's car. I didn't think it would be for a full year. I mean, transmission replacement shouldn't take that long, but yeah, it turned into a full year. And now, of course, since there's no end in sight for that fiasco, I have had to buy a new vehicle because I can't deprive my father of his car for a while. So, I get his car repaired, get it, detail cleaned and buffed so that way it can be returned in pristine condition to him. Thank you, Dad, for letting me borrow your vehicle for a year. But I have this new truck, of course, so I can drive myself around. And as many listeners might know, I'm an area housing provider. I renovate and rent apartments on the east side of Indianapolis, and I was doing a showing in front of one of these apartments. And I'm driving my brand new used Chevy Silverado 1500, a rather large vehicle with a full, it's an LS series, eight cylinder, has the full 8-foot bed, rather large hulking vehicle for a 2009 Chevy. And some jackass decides that he wants to turn around, and instead of using his eyesight and his observatory faculties, he backs straight into my grill. I'm just parked. I'm stationary. I'm alongside of the road. What are you even doing,
Literally
guy?
hitting a sitting duck.
Oh, it gets better, producer Allison, because then I call the wonderful, back the blue, the wonderful force, the wonderful people over at IMPD, of course, like you do when an accident happens, to make a report, right? So call IMPD non-emergency line. Hey, just had a collision over here, on the east side. Send somebody so that way we can make an accident report. Takes them about a half hour to show up. Fine, whatever. As quickly as they came, the officer approaches. She's like, well, why don't you exchange your insurance information for me and have a nice day? And then off she goes. No accident report to be made. Thanks, IMPD. That's just peachy keen. Fortunately, I got the insurance information. We made an exchange. But meanwhile, I still have a damaged grill to my brand new truck. I've had it less than 2 weeks, Allison.
And, of course, the first thing your insurance always asks is, did you file a police report?
Yeah. Well,
so much for that.
Well, we can subpoena the call to the call center. I asked for a police officer, and the police officer left. That's not. What am I supposed to do here?
Oh my gosh! See, at least the other person stayed on the scene, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Fortunately, they stayed on the scene. So,
what a bummer, man.
City government is a wreck, and of course, elements of my own life are a wreck. Primarily because other people come crashing into me. It's totally undeserved, unlike the scrutiny that Joe Hogsett finds himself under. Of course, he was at a area event over the weekend and made what many people have already heard is an interesting drop where he seems to be joking about the sexual scandals unfolding under his watch.
I want you all, look, I ain't on the ballot. I ain't running for nothing. I'm running from things, but I ain't running for nothing. But I want everybody here to make sure you get registered to vote at this election in November.
How embarrassing. Get in your mouse and get out of here.
So, without, of course, doing a blood draw and a toxicology panel, it's impossible to say what Joe Hogsett may or may not have been under the influence of at the time. However, there have been rather strong rumors surrounding the situation for years now, dating back to at least 2020 when the mayor was rumored to have been in an area rehab facility during the night of the Summer of Love 2020 riots that erupted across the city when Deputy Thomas Carl Cook, involved in this situation as well, was essentially the stand-in mayor for the evening, making many of the calls that Joe Hogsett should have been making in the moment of crisis that our city experienced, but he was relatively indisposed. And it's just gross how only recently the media has decided to take it upon themselves to exert the level of scrutiny necessary to bring this to light. And because of the sexual scandal that has unfolded within the city, but the people knew, Hogsett knew, people who were connected in the know knew that this was unfolding. And that, to me, is the most gross part, because they were willing to sit on this information through the 2023 election to get Joe Hogsett reelected and then do the information dump. That's the most disappointing thing here. And even still, despite the scrutiny, many members of the city council are refusing to take a stand and to condemn the activity.
You got any comment on what the mayor said over the weekend about running from things at all?
No, I didn't get the context, so I'm not going to comment on it.
What about him saying he was sort of just joking? A lot of people think it's in reference to what we're talking about tonight.
It didn't seem like
I really don't. I wasn't there, and I didn't hear what he said exactly. I never saw I read the quote, but didn't see the film, so.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
What a coward. And, again, he wasn't the only council member. Several who were being asked by the CBS local affiliate here refused to give an answer regarding the situation.
Comments on what the mayor said as far as his saying that he was just joking about running from things? Nothing? Things over the weekend?
I have no comment.
Anything? But the mayor said over the weekend about running from things?
Let me just do this. We are starting late. I'll come back and talk with you guys when I...
I'm not in the business of speculating on what people say. I frankly didn't understand what he was saying. I didn't understand what he meant by that. My understanding is that he has put a release out saying that he was joking. I won't speculate. If he says he's joking, then I guess he was joking.
I wish I had enough poison for the whole pack of you. I would gladly give my life to watch you all swallow it.
Didn't seem like he was joking to me. Seemed like he made a Freudian slip, inadvisable admission, considering the level of scrutiny he finds himself under. But that's what happens when you lose self-control, possibly under the influence of, intoxicating substances. Now, one council member at least had the testicular fortitude to say that he would like a little more information about what exactly Joe Hogsett meant over the weekend.
I definitely like to know what he meant by that, because that was something that was just distasteful, and it really goes to show where his head's at with this whole issue and this whole systemic issue of this harassment that he's allowed to go on in the city for so long.
What do you think about saying it was a joke, that he was just joking about it?
That's an easy out. Either way, you shouldn't be joking about this. This is not a joking matter. It's not a laughing matter.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
And to date, only one city council member that I'm aware of has actively called for the mayor to resign in light of these allegations, and that would be my own District 13 representative, the socialist city council member, Jesse Brown. And how sad and pathetic is it that Republican city council members have had this political opportunity drop in their laps, and they're not taking advantage of it. That is how feckless and ineffectual Republican leadership here is in Marion County, and that's why we keep losing elections. That's why we keep blowing election after election after election, because there is no leadership from the Republicans, and they're leaving it to the socialists to make the right call. Pathetic. Thanks for listening to the Tony Kinnett Cast. We've got more on the way, including a remembrance of the tragedy of 9/11 and a reflection on the ways in which our country has changed. Stay tuned for that coming up next.
It's the start of our favorite season in Indy, football season. That's right. With all the hype and action this season brings, we know things can get loud and messy real quick. Before you invite your friends and family over to watch the big game, you better call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to clean up all those fumble moments in your home. Lucky for you, you can score big this month with great savings. Hi, this is Denny Smith, and you can get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $119. Take $75 off air duct cleaning too. The Zero Res service is easy to line up. You can go online at ZeroResIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. Don't forget the ZR water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. Now mention WIBC, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $119, plus you'll get $75 off air duct cleaning too. 317-388-5141. That's 317-388-5141. Book online at ZeroResIndy.com.
Do you own an annuity? Right now, you could upgrade your annuity and get 40% more income, tax-deferred growth, and pay fewer fees and expenses. It's true. This upgrade could add up to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income. Learn more by calling Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy.
If you currently own an annuity, discover how you could get 40% more income, tax-deferred growth, and pay fewer fees and expenses. Bill Demery's the guy that can break it all down for you. This upgrade could add up to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income. And it won't cost you a dime. Talk to Bill Demery today. 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Are you ready for the biggest boat and RV sale of the year? The 35th Annual Indianapolis Fall Boat and RV Show. 3 days of blowout clearance pricing at the Indiana State Fairgrounds September 20th through 22nd. But it's not a show. It's a sale. For 3 days only, shop acres of new and used boats and RVs, and this year we're in the new air-conditioned pavilion. If you don't buy it here, you'll pay too much. Dealers are liquidating their inventories, and after Sunday, they're gone forever. The 35th Annual Indianapolis Fall Boat and RV Show. Save on tickets at IndySportShow.com. Another Renfro production.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
What is 988? It's a way forward. It's a listening ear. It's whatever help you need, when you need it. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers trained crisis specialists, ready to talk to you 24/7. If you or someone you love is experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis in their life, call or text 988. Want more information? Visit 988indiana.org.
Can you hear me? So can your customers. Get your message heard. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Indy Humane. Find your new best friend today. Visit indyhumane.org.
To celebrate, be employee owned, Be's offering employee pricing 60% off plus 18 months, no interest, no payment.
Proud to be employee owned. Trust me.
This is the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to the Tony Kinnett Cast. I'm your substitute host, Ethan Hatcher, producer Allison on the board. And this segment, of course, on the 23rd anniversary of 9/11. I wanted to reflect on, of course, the time that's passed. It's I remember when it was 18 years after 9/11, and it just dawned on me like, holy crap, there are legal adults who have now never seen or witnessed this monumental event. Like everybody who was alive, at that time remembers where they were. Do you remember what you were doing on 9/11, producer Allison?
Yes, I was in school. But I was in elementary school, so my teachers actually were pretty good about not letting us know what was going on. They were trying to keep it very routine and ordinary.
Oh, really? See, not all elementary school teachers were that restrained, because sometimes they put the news straight on and traumatize the kids.
Exactly, yeah. And so I went to a private school, so that's probably why. But I do remember a lot of parents coming and randomly picking up their kids early from school, and it was a little confusing. But as a kid, I just remember a lot of parents and adults were upset, and for the first time it's like, wow, even adults don't know what's going on.
I was 8, about to turn 9, and at the time I was homeschooled and I was still a Jehovah's Witness, so I didn't go to school with the rest of the kids. If memory serves, this was a Tuesday. I'm almost positive it was a Tuesday, and we were out in what the Jehovah's Witnesses call the field ministry. And in 2001, a time before most people had cell phones, and this happening very early in the morning, we didn't have a TV, and even if we did, we'd already left to go, pursue the ministry, field service, knocking on doors. So we didn't catch the 8 o'clock news. And as we are going from door to door, most of the people aren't even answering. It was eerily quiet in the neighborhood until finally some person, swings open the door and they're like, "What the hell are you even doing here? Don't you know America's under attack?" Slam the door. So that was the first hint that something was amiss, and we returned to the church, the Kingdom Hall, relatively shortly thereafter, and then started catching up on what was happening, which was terrifying. Americans had never witnessed and never have witnessed an attack like this on their soil since. And I wanted to play just a short highlight of the news that was being captured and the reactions that were being captured on the day as it was happening.
Somebody hit the World Trade Center, or
it's a Trade Center.
The World Trade Center. There's a fire on the upper floors.
This just in, you are looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning
that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. We don't know anything more than that. We don't know if it was a commercial aircraft. We have no idea how many were on board or what the extent of the injuries are right now.
Jules, this is Ryan. We're on an airplane that's been hijacked, and things don't go well. It's not looking good. I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. So happy to time. And I just totally love you, and I'll see you later. Bye, babe. Bye-bye.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
That looks like a second plane.
Oh, there's another one. Another plane just hit. Right. Oh, my God. Another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it.
Oh, my goodness, there's another one.
Seems to be on purpose.
Oh, my goodness. Now it's obvious, I think.
I leaned over and whispered into his right ear. A second plane hit the second tower. America is under attack.
Today, we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. We're looking at a live picture from Washington, and there is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon. It would appear that there has been another major explosion, this one in the nation's capital. There is smoke in the air over the Pentagon.
And since that day, I'm not sure that America has ever fully recovered. Now, I'm not going to say the terrorists have won because that wouldn't be true. It would be a little overly melodramatic. I mean, obviously, America's still here. We're all alive today. We still hold elections every 4 years. The presidency is still intact. And at the same time, we're a very, very, very different country from how we were 24 years ago in a pre-9/11 world. The government has expanded exponentially, and in that moment, the American citizens were coaxed into trading their irreplaceable individual liberty for the illusion of security. And I say illusion because what did America gain in the multiple military and diplomatic exchanges that followed 2001 and the September 11th terrorist attacks? Most of those primarily responsible coming from Saudi Arabia. Well, hell, we're practically allies with Saudi Arabia today, certainly fighting against Russia. Economic allies. They're buying up alternative golf, Live Golf, competitor to the pro sports here in the States. They're allowed to kill journalists with impunity, like Jamal Khashoggi. So it doesn't seem that Saudi Arabia has been held to any level of account. After the war in Iraq, it remains destabilized democracy. Although Saddam Hussein, of course, was eliminated, the country didn't benefit ultimately as a result. And in Afghanistan, after trillions of dollars of expenditures, after thousands of American lives were lost and billions of military equipment left behind, the Taliban retook control of the country almost immediately. And as far as privacy is concerned, that's wholly an illusion now. The levels of information that we're, and I include myself in this, are willing to dispense online would make communists like the old Stalin, Joseph Stalin, blush. The private information that we put online, financial information, banking information, correspondence, the things that you would be able to find out from people's internet searches, their political ideology, who they favor, their friendships, their partners, their relationships, their fetishes, just anything and everything in between. And we sacrifice it. And we know that our government has been spying on American citizens. Edward Snowden made that revelation and has continued to be politically persecuted for revealing that to the American people to this day. So America has been irrevocably changed by 9/11, and I'm not sure that there is or ever will be a return to the America that I remember existing in a pre-9/11 world, the sunset that happened after 2001. And that revelation struck me as sad that we were willing to sacrifice the liberty that was so hard fought for by our founders in order to obtain this illusion of security, and how quickly America has circled the drain since that time. The expansion of government, the loss of individual freedoms, the loss of privacy. So many things have degraded as a result and as a response to the 9/11 terrorist attack. And I'm not sure that there's a way to put a happy bow on that. But that's why you listen to me, because I'm a cynical bastard. Thanks for tuning in to the Tony Kinnett cast. Ethan Hatcher from Saturday Night on the Circle filling in. We've, of course, got one more segment to go. But take a moment and, of course, think back to your own memories on 9/11. And if anything, if we are to remake or reobtain that America that existed before the terrible tragedy of the terrorist attacks, then let's remember the moments of unity that we experienced in the immediate aftermath, because it seems like we've totally lost that in the time since then. Thanks for listening to WIBC. Stay tuned for more coming up next.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi there. I need a great connection to stream my favorite shows and movies.
Okay.
Is there a way I can get that and save money too?
We wondered the same thing. So we put our engineer brains together to give you the best of both worlds with Xfinity Internet Plus Stream Saver. You get Apple TV Plus, Netflix, and Peacock all for one low price.
Oh, so I can keep up with my coworker who spoils every show before I can watch it?
Exactly. And hey, You might even pass them.
Oh, Donna, it is so on.
Now through September 22nd, get 150 megabit Xfinity Internet for $30 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And Wi-Fi equipment included. Plus, add StreamSaver for just $15 a month. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Xfinity. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires payable display on an auto-pay stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $71 a month. Actual speeds vary. StreamSaver requires Xfinity Internet or TV and price subject to change.
Mike loves the fall in Indy, but he hates to paint, so he called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received postcards from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
And right now, Indy, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
The Sundown Gardens Fall Open House is Saturday. Local craft vendors 11 to 3, Hamilton County Llamas 11 to 1, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield.
It's the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC.
Feels like I'm losing it.
Good evening, Indianapolis. Welcome back to the Tony Kinnett Cast, wrapping things up for the evening. I'm your substitute host, Ethan Hatcher from Saturday Night on the Circle. You can listen to me on WIBC every Saturday from 7 to 9. Find my podcasts uploaded to WIBC.com, as well as my personal podcasting page, Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. You can also follow me on the Twitter machine at Ethan Hatcher, ETHANHATCHER. Help me achieve my lifetime goal of acquiring more than 500 Twitter followers. This, for the last segment of the show this evening, I wanted to talk about the 155-year-old Campbell's Soup Company is planning on making the monumental change. Are they changing their recipes? No. Are they changing the logo? No. It's still going to be the same red and white Campbell's you've always seen. Soup's still going to be stocked. What they're dropping, however, is the soup. I mean, the soup part of the official name. Instead of being the Campbell's Soup Company, it's just going to be the Campbell's Company. So I guess the strategic plan is here they want to expand more into their snack food products because they've hit the market cap for soup, but the soup is what I love and recognize Campbell's for. Like I'll tell you what, producer Allison, do you have any Campbell's soup recipes that you love? Because it makes for easy cooking around the house. Like I do this one skillet chicken recipe where you cook the chicken breasts up first, and then you throw in some onions, some mushrooms, season it, deglaze the pan with some wine, and then add a little cream of mushroom soup on top and reduce it in a chicken broth, and you got a lovely gravy.
Yeah,
you know?
I was thinking as soon as you said that, the green bean casserole that I make every year for Thanksgiving. Yep, Campbell's, always the go-to.
Irreplaceable. You can't miss it.
Classic.
So
even the chicken soup. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Absolutely. Love me some Campbell's. So fortunately, they're not changing their recipes. They're just dropping the name. And look, as long as they keep the soup, I'll be happy. Before we close the show off for this evening, though, I also wanted to replay a segment I had played on my show last weekend. Host Jason Hammer, of course, has been producing these lovely AI voiceovers, and I sent him a 90-second clip of me ranting about Kamala Harris, and he turned that into the basis for my AI Ethan voiceover, and it's scary how close they can get. Here's the AI. Hello, my fellow Hoosiers. It's your lovable, huggable, and sometimes combustible host, Ethan Hatcher. Now, I know what you were thinking. Are you the offspring of Wyatt Earp and the evil magician from Frosty the Snowman? And the answer is yes. If you have never seen me, I look like I just walked out of an 1800s Wild West saloon, and I also wear a top hat that would make Abe Lincoln say, "Damn, that's a big-ass hat." Despite my solid University of Indianapolis education, I look like the kind of guy that picks up cigarette butts on the ground of your local gas station while begging for change. And if you have never listened to my radio show, get ready for me to crap all over the politicians and beliefs that you like. When you look up pissing off the WIBC audience in the dictionary, there's a picture of me wearing a hat bigger than Kim Kardashian's butt cheeks. I thank you for listening each week to Saturday Night on the Circle. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a certain snowman to go melt. AI Ethan, out! It's just perfect. I was so happy when Jason finally made me one of those because his AI voiceovers are the best. Casey Daniels' AI had been my favorite, but of course he recently remade Drunken Joe Hogsett AI that top the cake. Phenomenal. Marconi award-winning radio for sure there. Thanks for listening to the show this evening. I've had a blast, as always, spending the evening with you. I hope you enjoyed listening to me rant and rave and cynically comment on the way America has declined since the tragedy of 9/11. And thank you, producer Allison, for dutifully pushing all the buttons and doing the things necessary to make the show function. You're one of the best producers in WIBC, and we appreciate your hard work.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here today.
It's a blast, and thank you for tuning in to the Tony Kinnett Cast. You can listen to my show Saturday night on the Circle from 7 to 9. Otherwise, Ethan Hatcher signing off, and thanks for listening to another edition of the Tony Kinnett Cast.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life